Michael Harris sat alone in his large, silent house. The walls were decorated with expensive art. The furniture was polished and perfect, yet the air felt heavy, untouched by warmth or laughter. After his first wife died suddenly, loneliness slowly became part of his daily life. Even success and money failed to fill the emptiness she left behind. He believed time would heal him, but instead, it only taught him how quiet nights could become. There was only one person who truly understood that silence: Robert Lane, his best friend of more than 30 years. They had built companies together, survived failures together, and carried each other through grief like brothers. When Michael felt lost, Robert was always there, steady, loyal, unshakable. Losing him felt like losing the last piece of his past. Robert's death came fast and without mercy. Cancer. 6 weeks from diagnosis to goodbye. Michael stood at the funeral in a black suit, barely listening to the prayers, his mind refusing to accept that the man beside him for half his life was gone. He spoke kind words at the grave, but inside something broke. With Robert gone, Michael believed surprises were finally over. Emily entered Michael's life during that fragile time. She was younger, attentive, always listening. She knew exactly when to speak and when to remain silent. Her presence felt like rescue, like light returning to dark rooms. Her son, Ryan, followed closely behind, polite, distant, watching. Michael told himself this was happiness finally returning. Robert, however, had never shared that feeling. One quiet morning, the phone rang. The voice on the other end was calm, controlled. "Michael, this is Daniel Foster, Robert's lawyer. I need you to come to my office today. It concerns something Robert left for you." Michael's hand tightened around the phone. Robert had been dead for exactly 30 days. Daniel Foster didn't waste time. He placed a small envelope on the desk, sealed and untouched. "Robert recorded this 3 weeks before he died," he said quietly. "He made me promise not to give it to you until today." Inside was a single USB drive, Michael's name written in Robert's handwriting. Something about it felt heavy, like a truth waiting too long to speak. At home, Michael locked himself in his study. Emily was out, the house unusually quiet. He sat at the desk staring at the USB drive for several seconds, before finally plugging it into his laptop. The screen flickered and then Robert's face appeared. Thinner, weaker, but his eyes were sharp, serious. "Michael," Robert said softly, struggling for breath. "If you're watching this, I'm gone, and I need you to listen very carefully." He paused, gathering strength. "Your wife Emily and her son Ryan are planning to kill you." The words froze Michael in place. This wasn't anger. This was a warning. Michael stared at the screen, unable to move. His mind searched desperately for another explanation. Medication, confusion, fear. But Robert's voice was calm, steady, painfully clear. This wasn't madness. This was a man using his last strength to save a friend. Michael felt the room close in around him, realizing the danger wasn't outside his home. It was already inside. That night, Michael walked into the bathroom and opened the cabinet. The vitamins Emily insisted he take every morning sat neatly by the sink. He examined them carefully, his heart pounding. Robert's words echoed in his mind. Slow poison. Michael photographed the pills, sealed them away, and quietly replaced them with identical vitamins from the pharmacy. For the first time, he understood. His life depended on pretending he knew nothing. The USB drive held more than accusations. There were bank statements showing money slowly disappearing, insurance documents with forged signatures, audio recordings of Ryan laughing about being rich soon. Each file stripped away another layer of denial. Emily hadn't married him for love. She had studied him, patiently, carefully. Like prey, the USB drive held more than accusations. There were bank statements showing money slowly disappearing, insurance documents with forged signatures, and audio recordings of Ryan laughing about being rich soon. As each file stripped away another layer of denial. Emily hadn't married him for love. She had studied him patiently, carefully, like prey. One recording stopped Michael's breath completely. And Emily's voice filled the speakers, calm, almost gentle. "She won't suffer," she said. "And it will look like heart failure. A man his age. But no one will question it." Michael stood in his own kitchen, listening to his death being planned in the same space, at where he once believed he was safe. Betrayal had never sounded so quiet. Michael contacted the authorities quietly. Every move had to be precise. The poison was confirmed. The financial theft documented. But evidence alone wasn't enough. They needed intent. They needed timing. Michael agreed to play the most dangerous role of his life, to act like a man slowly dying, while watching those closest to him wait for the end. One evening, Michael pretended to leave town. The house fell silent. Just after midnight, the back door opened. A shadow moved through the hallway, measuring distance, counting steps. Michael lay in bed, heart racing, knowing the plan had reached its final stage. The man entered the room quietly, and the trap snapped shut. The courtroom was silent as the evidence played. Audio recordings, financial trails, the poison, the planned burglary. Emily sat motionless, her expression unreadable. Ryan broke down, his confidence gone. When the judge delivered the verdict, Michael felt no victory, only the heavy truth of how close death had been. Months later, Michael stood beside Robert's grave. The evening sun lowered gently behind the trees. Robert had known he was dying, yet chose to spend his final strength protecting someone else. Michael placed his hand on the stone and whispered, "You saved my life." Some friendships don't end with death. They become guardians. Michael sold the old house. Too many memories, too many shadows. He chose a smaller place, quieter, safer. He rebuilt his life slowly, carefully, not with fear, but with awareness. Pain had taught him what comfort never could. Michael now lives with purpose, helping others who were targeted the same way he was. Because survival alone isn't enough. Meaning comes from protecting others. A USB drive, a dying friend, a truth delivered just in time. He is alive today because someone loved him enough to warn him from beyond the grave.